That's my secret, cat. I'm always angry.
Alright. I ran out of patience. On the roost!
Hey everyone, Captain, big fan of Spider-Man.
Avengers! Assemble.
Hello, Peter.
Hello and welcome back to the Infinity Saga and Beyond, an MCU fan podcast. My name is Jordan Wiegand, and for this week, what we will be talking about is looking ahead to 2023, now that we are officially in the new year. So last episode, we did a brief breakdown of the Quantumanium trailer live right after it premiered on Monday Night Football, National College National Championship. But that was live on our Twitter and Facebook. I'm setting it up so we can do that on YouTube going forward as well. But I also put it as an episode, so you can check that out if you haven't. It's the episode like right before this one. And then what we are going to be looking at today is just what is to come in 2023 TV shows, movies, etc. for the MCU. All right, so we will be looking ahead now to 2023, and we're going to start with the films. Because we have concrete dates on those. The Disney Plus series, we do not have concrete dates at all. Okay, so for this year, we are getting just 3 films. We're not expecting that to change. But February 17th, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania hits theaters. I'm really excited for this one. I'm going to be buying this Kang the Conqueror shirt that I found on Amazon. And, yeah, I'm going to wear it. We're going to rock it there. Kang is awesome. We're going to have fun with that. Next episode, what you'll also see is me reviewing and breaking down. We'll talk about Kang the Conqueror, the 2021 miniseries that came out for the comic. It's a really great miniseries. Look it up if you can. If you have Marvel Unlimited, read it and prepare yourself, because we're going to do one of our get-to-know episodes that we did for Moon Knight for Kang the Conqueror as we go ahead and look ahead to Quantumania. We'll see if we do any specific Ant-Man comics in the run-up as well. But we are less than a month away now from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. There are starting to be some leaks. I saw somebody somehow got translated leaks of the subtitles for the movie, and that they are starting to translate them to English. So watch where you're going. Watch who you're interacting with, because this stuff is going to start getting out into the open pretty soon here. But this is the one that I'm most excited for. I think this and Guardians 3 are like my top 2 most anticipated Phase 5 projects. And I think on a normal year, it would be that I'm looking ahead more to Guardians of the Galaxy. But due to Kang being in Quantumania, and just the fact that Quantumania is literally like 3 weeks away, it's so much easier to have more hype and anticipate Quantumania, because I'm going to see that first. That's just kind of how I am. I'm like looking forward to the next thing. So it's like milestones, right? To get to Guardians, we have to get through Quantumania. So I'm just really pumped for Quantumania. I'm not even really thinking about Guardians that much. It doesn't feel like Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out in May. It just doesn't feel that way at all. So for me right now, it's just, okay, can we get to Quantumania? Is it good, right? Which I think it will be. And then after that, you start to count down for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's one of the pluses that we have here of dealing something with the MCU, where there's pretty much, the MCU is pretty much a TV show where we're looking forward to the next chapter right after we get done the other chapter. And, like a show like Lost or something, where you watch each week and you're like, oh, now I can't wait till next week. That's kind of how I feel about the MCU. It's like, oh, okay, we got Quantumania, great, I loved it, I'm gonna rewatch it, and then, all right, now we're on to the next thing. Let's get there. There are downsides to that. To the fact of it's getting so large now I can't do as many rewatches as I used to. But, where you can watch from Iron Man all the way to the end, right now with so many projects, it's getting a little bit more difficult to do that before the next project comes out. I used to do that for all the movies, If we saw, if Civil War was coming out, we would watch Captain America, Avengers, Winter Soldier, and Age of Ultron, and we would build up to Civil War. But or we would watch them all. Sometimes I like doing that, like, oh, let's act like this is a comic event and we're just reading Ant-Man side of it. So in that case, right now, I made this graphic. I'm going to put it up here right now. But if you just want to watch the Ant-Man experience, here's the films, right? It's pretty simple. Ant-Man, then you go Civil War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Endgame. You can skip Infinity War because Scott doesn't know any of that stuff. So if you're looking at just the Ant-Man journey, watch those films, and then get yourself ready for Quantumania. That's kind of the new way to rewatch stuff right now, because with how many films it is, it's getting so large to even be able to fully do that before a movie comes out. We did have a bit of a gap between Black Panther and Quantumania for you to do a full rewatch if you wanted to. But, the holidays and then New Year's, and now it's like, oh, geez, it's less than a month away, which is insane. So that's Quantumania. That's February 17th, 2023. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the next film to come out. That's May 5th of 2023. We've watched the trailer. We did a reaction to that. Funko Pops are starting to come out. I think other than that, there's not that many leaks, so you don't have to be as vigilant. But, that'll probably start coming not long after Quantumania, that we'll start getting some heavy leaks about Guardians. So be vigilant. Stay away from stuff if you're, kind of susceptible to spoilers and don't want to see them. But yeah, not much to really say here except for that I'm really excited for Guardians, obviously, because this is the end of James Gunn's trilogy. James Gunn was originally slated to take over all of the MCU cosmic stuff. He was supposed to be like the Kevin Feige of the cosmic stuff, and then he got fired by Alan Horn due to those tweets in 2018? I think it was. And then, he got scooped up by DC, put together the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, which are two absolute beautiful pieces of comic book media. So if you like James Gunn, if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, and you haven't gotten around to the Suicide Squad or Peacemaker on HBO Max, get around to it, because they are very fun. I've talked about both of those films and TV shows on Elseworlds. I think I did one for Suicide Squad. I don't remember, but I definitely talked about Peacemaker with Jack, who's a frequent contributor on this show. He loved Peacemaker. He loved the Suicide Squad because he likes James Gunn. He's not big into DC otherwise, so go ahead. If you're not a big DC fan, just give the Suicide Squad a chance. You don't even have to watch the 2016 Suicide Squad, or if that movie put you off, go ahead and watch the Suicide Squad from James Gunn from 2021, and then go right into Peacemaker. 8 episodes of Peacemaker. So much fun. A character I didn't think I was going to want to show about. A character that I didn't think deserved a show, or that I wasn't even going to be interested in watching. I watched it with an open mind, and it was beautiful. So check those out. But this, back to Guardians, this is his end. This is James Gunn's end of his characters that he had brought to life in Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014. A 9-year journey. This one was actually supposed to end in 2019, but then with the firing, got pushed 4 years here due to COVID, the firing, all that kind of stuff. It got pushed all the way to now. And from there, we are going to also have to look ahead to what that means for the rest of the Guardians. You know, James Gunn is talking about maybe bringing some of these actors to his DC films. If you missed that, if you didn't listen to any of the Elseworlds episodes that I put up on this feed that talks DC, James Gunn has taken over DC Studios. They created DC Studios. James Gunn and Peter Safran are now the heads of that, and they're about to unveil their slate. At least not the full slate. They're about to unveil probably a couple projects of their slate for DC films in this 10-year project he's putting together over for WB and DC. That's supposed to be unveiled by the end of the month, which we'll talk about it here on the Elseworlds episodes. You can go to that feed specifically, or you can stay subscribed and listen to the podcast feed here, and they'll be marked as Elseworlds episodes, so if you're not interested in DC, you can skip them. But James Gunn's talked about taking some of the actors there to his DC films. So they're either going to have a good balance of being able to do both, or some of these characters, this will be the last time we see them. Characters that die, characters that retire, they might only come back for Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty and then be done. That's a real possibility. I'm hoping Rocket and Groot are continuing to go forward in the MCU, just because even if Bradley Cooper or Vin Diesel don't want to do the voices anymore, you can probably find sound-alikes. But also, with how easy that job is, of, you know, it's not as time-consuming as being on set and all that kind of stuff. I believe they'll continue in the MCU for sure. I'm not buying this whole Rocket Raccoon is going to die stuff. That I think the trailer is hinting at it a little too much, and I think the rumors are there a little too much. I don't buy it. I think Rocket will survive. I think maybe what you'll have to look at is some of the more human characters, or characters that are played by humans on set, probably have a more likelihood chance of dying. But I'm very excited to see Adam Warlock. We got our first real look at him in the trailer, and seeing what he is going to bring to the MCU for this movie, and kind of what their plans are for him going forward. Because, you know, some of his most famous comic book stuff is defeating Thanos and and the Infinity Gauntlet storylines. So, because he usually has one of the Infinity Stones on his head. So that is going to be very different going forward, to see what can Adam Warlock bring here. What can he do in the MCU going forward? Where will they use him? And kind of my biggest question for the MCU after Guardians 3 is, where does the cosmic stuff stand, right? We're obviously going to get Fantastic Four. They are Earth-based, but they also have a lot of cosmic adventures. We're probably going to get Silver Surfer. Rumors state we're going to get Silver Surfer. We'll see. I think we will. He's one of the most famous cosmic characters. They now have the rights to him. Let's get Silver Surfer in here. And also looking at, okay, there's Silver Surfer. Does that mean we're going to bring Galactus? Is that phase 7, 8, and 9? Exactly, we don't know, right? So where's the cosmic adventures going forward? Are we going to lean more on Captain Marvel and that side of the cosmic stuff? Or are we bringing in Nova? Are we bringing in Silver Surfer? Are we going to be able to start really expanding the cosmic stuff even more than what we already have, which is, been a decent amount of cosmic stuff with Captain Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's kind of the question where I have at the end of Guardians Volume 3, right? We're going to get a nice little tied bow on some of these characters and their arc that James Gunn started with in 2014. And then, okay, where do we go from here? Bringing in Warlock, bringing in Nova, bringing in Silver Surfer or Galactus, big cosmic characters going forward. What's the state of the cosmic universe in the MCU? That's something I'm very intrigued by. Okay, so we talked about 2 of the films coming out this year. The last film is kind of related. It is The Marvels, July 28th, 2023. That is the last film of the year, if what I'm reading is right, which seems odd. But yeah, I guess so. The Marvels, the sequel to Captain Marvel, is teaming up Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and somebody that's usually known as Photon, gone by many names, but Monica Rambeau is, got her powers in WandaVision. Okay, where do we go forward from here, right? That's kind of the big thing for Monica and for the Marvels. Okay, what is her role here? She seemed to not really, like, when they brought up Carol in WandaVision, she kind of had a bad reaction to it. We got the little tease at the end of Miss Marvel of them swapping places with the cosmic bands, I guess, is what made them switch places, right? What is that about? Why are we seeing that? What is that going to lead to? How does Monica Rambeau get tied up in this? That is the question of the Marvels, right? Is Kang a villain in this, or are we using a different villain? Like, that is going to be my biggest question for Phase 5, 6. For this to be the multiverse saga, will the Marvels tie into the multiverse as well? Because the reason I ask that is because so far we have had kind of just a little bit of projects that have had the multiverse, right? We've had No Way Home, Loki, Multiverse of Madness, and then Quantumania with Kang. Guardians 3 is probably not going to tie into that much at all because James Gunn wrote that a long time ago, and he's kept the script the same. So maybe little tweaks, but I doubt there's going to be much hints to Kang or the multiverse in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. He usually likes to keep a lot of his stuff separate over there. So my question is more of, okay, where does this lead us? We need more stuff, right, that ramps up to Kang Dynasty, so it's not just, okay, well, they fought him in Quantumania, he disappeared for a time, and then Kang Dynasty happens. I feel like there's got to be a little bit more, even if it's end credit scenes, right, that just tie stuff over. But I really wonder how it's going, what the Marvels is going to be about, right? Like, what is the Marvels fully about? I think there was a synopsis that came out. Let me see if I can find that. I think there was an official synopsis. Okay, yeah, this was published by Disney Press here, okay? Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. But unintended consequences see Carol shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe. When her duties send her to an anomalous wormhole linked to a Kree revolutionary, her powers become entangled with that of Jersey City superfan Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel, and Carol's estranged niece, Captain Monica Rambeau. Together, this unlikely trio must team up and learn to work in concert to save the universe. So it's not too specific, right? Obviously, because they're not going to... But just the fact that we already knew she was linked with Miss Marvel, but it sounds like her powers are also going to get linked with Monica Rambeau? Or is that just saying, the way it's worded is a little odd. It could just be saying that, you know, she's joining them as well, type of thing. But I think this could deal with maybe some Kang or some multiverse stuff when it says a destabilized universe. Don't know what that means. Not saying that Jonathan Majors is showing up in it, but just a, you know, if it just ties into this multiverse saga, I think that'll be good. I'm really excited for the Marvels too. If you didn't know, I really liked Miss Marvel. If you listen to our recaps here on the podcast, Captain Marvel I think is unfairly treated when we're talking about movies. A lot of people giving that movie a lot of hate when I think it's just it's a good movie. It's not like a great movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just a okay to good film. So I enjoyed watching it. I watched it like 2 times in theaters, I think. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But I'm excited to see Carol going forward without her like foggy memory of not knowing who she is. Let's kind of give her some more stuff to do. She didn't get to do much in Endgame, and then she hasn't really been in anything since. So this will be very, very big for her to continue that. This is one of the fastest sequels we've had. Is that right? 2019 was Captain Marvel, right? And then Endgame was later that year. This movie is 2023. 4-year gap. We're almost at the point now where we're getting 5-year gaps. Black Panther was 2018 to 2024, but we're usually in the 4 to 5 year gap. But let me tell you, these 4 years went super fast due to 2019 being the last normal year, and then COVID, and then since COVID happened, it feels like time has just jumped years at this point. I still feel like we're living in 2020 sometimes. That's all the films for 2023 to look ahead to. Now, in June, there will be Across the Spider-Verse. We'll be covering that here on the podcast as well. We don't just talk MCU. We will talk some comics occasionally. We talk animated films. We'll talk TV shows. We'll talk MCU. So there's that. Now, there are some shows that are slated for this year on Disney+. Some of these might get pushed back. There's rumors of some of these getting pushed back. But the last updates we've had is What If Season 2 is supposed to be this year sometime. I'm excited for that. Jack C. Prasad was on the show to talk about What If for every single episode. We'll try to get him back if we can. I'm not sure what his schedule's like, but we really liked What If, just seeing different universes, sometimes finding out what the wrinkle is. What is the what if scenario here for some of these when you're watching them? So that's something to look forward to. Secret Invasion. Already got my guest lined up. Casey McGeorge, who talked She-Hulk with us. He talked WandaVision with us. He'll be back to talk Secret Invasion, which looks to be a wonderful show. Martin Freeman is in it. Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Kingsley, right? We have just a huge cast. I did not... Ben Mendelsohn, not Ben Kingsley, sorry. Ben Mendelsohn back for Secret Invasion as Talos. So prepare yourself. Secret Invasion looks like it's going to be... The trailer looks great. It looks really, really great. Loki Season 2 is slated for mid-2023. Guess what? Casey McGeorge will be joining us again for Loki Season 2. We had my friend Matt cover Loki Season 1 last time, which was 2021. Crazy how fast time is moving right now. But I got Casey locked down for Loki. He's talked about how much he liked that show when we were on here before. We got Ironheart slated for late 2023. And so far, Echo and Agatha, Coven of Chaos, are slated for 2023. I'm thinking one of those might get pushed. Agatha is filming right now. I could see that getting pushed. I could see Echo getting pushed maybe. But they're starting to film Daredevil Born Again, which is supposed to come out in 2024 soon. And that's supposed to film for most of the year, I think. It's crazy. There's rumors of a Spider-Man movie being announced for 2024 or 2025 soon, but nothing officially. When we do have info on that, we'll talk about it. But overall, that is the slate for 2023. Loki Season 2, I think that is a big chance for us to see a lot more Kang. He was left off, right, in an alternate universe with a different TVA with Kang as the leader of it. So that's something to look forward to. Secret Invasion just looks fun. Ironheart, we saw her in Black Panther 2. I think Ironheart is great. She's a great character. What we'll do is, for that show, when it gets closer, I'm planning to do one of those Marvel, like I'm doing with Kang later this month here, where get to know Ironheart or Riri Williams, and we can look at her comic run from a few years ago, which is I think 5 or 6 issues. It's a lot of fun. We'll talk about that run around that time. And then Echo, we saw her in the Hawkeye show. That show's supposed to tie in, I think, with a lot of the Daredevil side of things. So we'll see how that goes. And then Agatha Coven of Chaos. I'm really curious to see what that show is about. There were some set pictures that were floating around with them in a mall. But just like, where are we going with Agatha at this point? Last time when we left off in WandaVision, she had no recollection, right, of what had happened. Wanda put a spell on her, and that was it. Wanda is currently MIA, right, at the end of Multiverse of Madness. So seeing how that'll play in Agatha Coven of Chaos. Are we getting the kids again? Are we getting a way to bring them fully into this universe so they can start being in the main MCU? Is Wanda getting resurrected in this thing, or is she still currently dead, in parentheses or in quotation marks, I guess? We'll see. I don't really know what to expect of Agatha Coven of Chaos, but look, I'm not going to be one of those people that say, who asked for this? Because I did. I think I said that when it was first announced. But we didn't ask for a lot of things, right? That become popular. Nobody in 75 was like, I want Star Wars. Nobody knew what that was. Nobody asked for it. George made it. We got Star Wars. So that's kind of a fallacy of who asked for this, because some of the, I believe people said that about Better Call Saul, which is one of the best spinoffs of all time, one of the greatest shows of all time, Better Call Saul. So let's kind of try not to be like, who asked for this when it comes to some of this stuff, because some of the stuff that has been made that people originally said, who asked for this, is great. I think Rogue One is probably another. Andor is a great example. People were like, who asked for a Cassian Andor show? And it turned out to be incredible and one of the best TV shows on Disney+. So let's temper those type of words, right? Because let's wait for it to come out, see it, and then react to how it looks. All that kind of stuff. I think that's mostly it. I think that's all we're really going to talk about today. Just kind of looking ahead to 2023. If I'm looking past Quantumania, what am I most anticipated for? Guardians and Loki Season 2. I really liked Loki Season 1. I really did. So I'm really excited to see, Mobius again, seeing Sylvie, right? Seeing all these characters that we got to know in that 6-episode series. Ravonna Renslayer, if we can see her again. Are we going to see Jonathan Majors as Kang in that show? There's some good questions there on what that is. There's a little bit of a clip of it on Disney Plus or on YouTube. Disney Plus did this, like, looking ahead to 2023 trailer, streaming in 2023, and there is clips of The Mandalorian, Wakanda Forever, which is coming to Disney Plus in February, Ahsoka, and then there is a bit of Secret Invasion in there, Peter Pan and Wendy, Mandalorian again, and then there was a clip of Loki. Yes, we get Loki with Mobius and like 2 other Lokis. That's interesting. We'll see what that means. But yeah, that is what I am looking forward to this year for the MCU. A lot of stuff to get into. So I started doing some blogging on our blog, which is linked in the show notes if you want to give that a try. I'm doing comic reviews. So I've been reviewing each of those Kang issues that we'll be talking about. Also reviewed this comic. Do I have it here? Oops. Yes, I started reviewing this comic as well, Avengers War Across Time. The first issue of this came out. And I think it's a miniseries or whatever, but it takes place like after Avengers issue 11, I think it is, where they face Kang, and they face Kang in this one too. But this is, they're in their 60s costumes. The art style is really cool for like 60s. They get this old box up here of the old Marvel logo type stuff. Give it a try if you can. War Across Time, Avengers. You see it at your comic shop. But I did a review for that on the blog. You can read it. It has some spoilers in it. But yeah, that is what I've been doing with my time. So next episode, which I think will be over the course of the next week or two, we're going to talk Kang the Conqueror 2021 miniseries. That's issues 1 through 5. We'll get to know Kang. We'll give you some trivia on Kang. We'll give you a whole bunch of information on Kang, what to expect from Quantumania with Kang. So keep an eye out for that episode. And if you want to read along, those are the issues. And then it'll be time for Quantumania very shortly after that, which we'll do a review breakdown, trying to get Jack back on for that since he's a big Ant-Man fan. So we're looking at that. If you are fans of DC films, TV shows, comics, I've been doing reviews on our blog as well for those. The link for the DC blog is in the show notes as well. It's a different link. I'm keeping them separate, right? But I've been reviewing comics on there. I've been posting the episodes up on that blog, so you can find all of that information on there as well. This year, there's a lot of DC stuff coming out. Shazam! Fury of the Gods in March. We'll be breaking it down on Elseworlds. Superman and Lois starts March 14th. We'll be talking about it on Elseworlds, our DC podcast, each week. We're going to be talking about The Flash when that releases finally. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Lots of stuff in 2023, sorry. Still getting used to the year. And then in the next few days, we got 10 days that James Gunn said the slate is being released in for the first few projects. He already announced a Superman movie. We're probably going to get an official unveiling of that and probably just 2 or 3 other projects they're working on. We'll be talking about that on the podcast too when it comes down. I'm releasing an episode that I just recorded the other day with Chris, who was on to break down Superman and Lois Season 1 in a retrospective. We just recorded Superman and Lois Season 2 retrospective. So an hour looking back at Season 2 as we build up to Season 3 in March. That's happening on the DC side of stuff. So thank you all for watching or listening. You can catch us on all of our socials. Facebook.com/Infinity Saga Beyond. Twitter is TO Infinity Saga. And email marvelplusrecaps@gmail.com for any feedback, questions, concerns. Thank you all for watching or listening. We'll catch you next time when we talk Kang.